Are we okay? We're done. We're okay here. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and good day. You know, I was in Dumaguete the past 2 days, and I did not know the ramifications of what has happened and what I previously posted on a POV. But before anything else, allow me to begin with an apology, a very sincere one. To those who may have been hurt by the words and phrases I used in one of my previous POVs when I discussed about the appeal of former President and incumbent Mayor of Davao City, Rodrigo Duterte, in the International Criminal Court. I admit it was poorly written. Maybe I was tired, maybe I wanted to sound poetic, or maybe I just wanted to stir conversation. And yes, I got what I wanted. The discussion happened. But most of it, sadly, became personal. It became a flood of ad hominem attacks. Now, what do we mean by ad hominem? It's when people attack the person and not the argument. Instead of saying, I disagree with your point, they say, I don't like you. Or instead of saying, or instead of answering the message, they attack or they kill the messenger. And when that happens, the real conversation dies. The space for both truth becomes polluted and hatred. And that is not how civilized, intelligent people should argue. So let me say this again from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. I am sorry to those who felt offended, to those who felt hurt. That was never my intention. But let me also be honest. I never attacked anyone personally. I only shared my legal reading, my perspective, and I stand by that. Because when I speak from the lens of law, not loyalty. In the past days, I have been called many things. DDS, DD shit, BBM, Pinklawan, Dilawan, Ultra Pink. As if thought must always have a color. As if truth must always take a side. I have been bashed, cancelled, unfollowed, and condemned not for lying, but for thinking differently. And yes, even the governor of Cebu has joined the fray, reducing me to name calling that is painful and derogatory, especially if you are not from my community. But I will not respond with anger. Sakit, gyud. Sakit, tinood. But I will not exchange insult for insult. Because the mark of a civilized society is not how loud, how loud we curse or we curse those who differ, but how calm we remain when others throw stones. That's why I tried to become my social media team were like crazy already. But I said, calm down. They were crazy because my followers already plunged. And I said, it's okay. We started with 21. To plunge it down and to have it go down, it does not matter because that's not my advocacy. I have never in my wildest dream thought that I would reach this social media peak. My goal in life was just to have at least 25,000 followers. So you may disagree with me all you want. You may not like my POVs, but please, never resort to ad hominem attacks. This is not how justice works. This is not how intellect survives. If you wish to unfollow my page, do so freely. You are free. As free as I am to express my truth. I give you that freedom. Give me my freedom as well to say my POV. If you disagree with what I say, then disagree with gusto. Debate with me, reason with me, challenge me. But calling me names will not change my convictions. Because conviction built on principle, conviction built on principle will not break under pressure. And even if I am unwelcome in your fold, I will continue to educate. Even if I have to speak to only a few, to the littlest group who are still willing to listen, I will continue. Because as long as there is someone willing to learn, my advocacy lives on. Now let's go back to where this all began. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte did not surrender himself to the International Criminal Court. He did not surrender. He was surrendered, kidnapped. And in that act, the current administration did not only give up a man, it gave up a part of our sovereignty. Under Philippine law, that act is illegal. No Filipino can be transferred to a foreign tribunal without a valid treaty, without Senate concurrence, and without due process. That is why Davao City Acting Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte was correct when he filed criminal charges against those responsible for the illegal arrest and surrender of his father to The Hague. Sakto to. Filing kaso tong mga tawhana, si Rimulya, ang magsuong Rimulya, si Torre, BBM, di pa na ma-file ang kaso pas BBM karon. Si Anyo, and whoever was Teodoro filed cases against them because they were the ones responsible in the kidnap and the illegal arrest of his father. Diri sa Pilipinas filing ninyo og kaso because justice cannot exist by breaking the very constitution that defines it. But now, let's shift our view from the perspective of Philippine law to the lens of International Criminal Court. Under the Rome Statute, the ICC will only intervene. They will only intervene if a country's judicial system is unwilling or unable to genuinely prosecute. Meaning, if justice is truly working in a state, if justice is working in the Philippines, the ICC should stay out. But in the eyes of the ICC, now transfer your eyes, ayaw na mo sa Pilipinas, adto mo sa ICC, the Philippines failed the test. They saw a judiciary that functioned on paper but not in faith. They saw investigations, yes, na-investigasyon, but without trust. They saw process, yes, but not conviction. That is why the ICC moved. They investigated. That is why they issued the warrant of arrest. Because in their eyes, our justice was not working as it should. I'm not saying it was not working, but in the eyes of the ICC, it was not working. Now let me take you deeper into that lens. Transfer, go to the lens of the ICC. You will never understand where Tatay Digong is now if you will not go to the lens of the ICC. Disenfranchise yourself for a moment from the laws of the Philippines. Shift your sight to the Rome Statute. Because that is what is holding Duterte right now. Because in the ICC's view, no matter how we insist that this is illegal, they already have Duterte in their custody. And under their rules, once a person is detained, jurisdiction attaches. Wala na prison na nilas digong. Unsa pa may atong buhaton? Magsigil tagsagit dinis Pilipinas. That is the truth. We must first understand before we can plan how to fight back. That is why defense lawyer Nicholas Kaufman, Duterte's counsel, did not question jurisdiction. He knew the battlefield had shifted. Dili na sa Pilipinas ang gubat karon. Adto na sa ICC. So he built his plea around, number one, age. That Duterte is 80 years old, medical condition, that he had the cognitive decline, memory loss, and number three, humanitarian grounds, compassion. Compassion for being an aging leader who served this country. But the ICC judges asked one thing, Usaragyud, if we release him with temporary liberty, will he return here to be heard? And when they saw the rallies, the slogans, and the shouts of kinidnap si Duterte, and we will never surrender him again, from his daughter, to them, that spelled flight risk. And that is why the application for interim release was denied. Now, allow me to revisit the words that started all of this. Ako mangguning nasulti, o ako ning nasuwat. A man whose record is defiant. A legacy marked by thousands of killings. He didn't accord people due process. Sa pato. Noong siya ay nasa Malacanang, marami ang walang pagkakataong magpaliwanag. Now he stands up before a court that listens patiently, meticulously, and lawfully. And perhaps that is the true justice of it all. That's what I remember that I have said. And that is where the fury of the DDS supporters was stoned upon me. Those words, I understand now, they hurt many. I understand. When I reread and reflected on it, it hurt. Ako po, nasakitan lang ko sa akong gipang suwat. And maybe I could have written them better. When I said defiant, I mean resilient. Never have we seen a leader who was so defiant to the international community. Iya kung gikontrang Amerika pag presidente niya. When I said a legacy marked by killings, I was quoting the prosecution's argument, not stating a fact. It was the prosecution's argument. And that is why naikaso karon sa ICC. And when I said he didn't accord due process, I echoed the accusation. That was not my judgment. And when I said now he stands before a court that listens patiently, what I truly meant was this. For the first time, the very man accused of denying due process, he was accused that he denied due process in the Philippines when he was president. But now he is given the full measure of it. The very fairness he was said to have denied, he now receives completely. And that perhaps is where justice finds its quiet irony. The irony being that even in the hands of those who condemn him, he is still treated with a due process he was once accused of withholding. Ingon anak ka maayo ang balaod, ingon anak pud ka bugat ang mustisya. I talk in the language of the law. And I was not mocking. That is not mockery. That is faith. Faith that even when politics shouts, the law still listens. You know, I like the learnings and the knowledge I've read from Sas Rogando Sasot. She said, Duterte is the first Asian leader to be brought under ICC jurisdiction. And that is a problem, or that is a concern, because maybe the judges in the ICC would like to prove something. First Asian, because for decades only African leaders were tried. Sudan, sa pato dito Congo, Ivory Coast, all African nations. Now the ICC reaches its tentacles to Asia. And the Philippines becomes the testing ground. In Southeast Asia, Cambodia na lang nagpabilin na membro sa ICC. But we were a member before 2019. So that is where the 3 counts of the cases filed against President Duterte lie. When he was in his early days as mayor, when he was the first 3 years of presidency, and up to 2019. Sa Philippines, but this does not, you know, sa Philippine, ICC saw only 2 persons being justices or judges in the ICC. Justice Raul Pangalanan and former Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. Now, for the first time, a Filipino does not sit in the bench. He stands before it. But this does not make him small. It makes him symbolic. Because in his person, the world is not judging a man. It is testing the strength of our nation's sovereignty. For 7 months, we have rallied, marched, and shouted. We did almost everything, and yet Tatay Digong remains detained. Maybe it's time to change our strategy. Remember his own words. Nisulti gid ani si Duterte, huwag nyo nang pakialaman ang kaso ko sa ICC. That was not surrender, that was strategy. Because Rodrigo Duterte is not just a man of courage. He is a man of strategy. He knows when to fight and when to wait. He knows when to step back and when to strike. Usahay lang gyud, kinahanglan gyud muatras ta ug usa ka lakang para makabawi ta og duha. Again, we need to move 1 step backward in order to move 2 steps forward. Because even if President Marcos will retract his surrender, the ICC will not release Duterte. Even if the Senate passes resolutions, The Hague will not listen. Because once a man is in their custody, kung naana silang custody, only they will decide his fate. So what do? We take 1 step back to breathe, to study, to understand. Then we take 2 steps forward to act with wisdom, to speak with reason, to fight through the law. Law ta mag-away sa balaod. We don't abandon Duterte. We defend him intelligently. We don't rage. We reason. We don't shout. We strategize. Because justice is not won by noise. It is won by clarity. And as for me, I will continue to educate. Even if I am unwelcome in some circles, I will continue to speak. Even if I talk only to the few, to the littlest group, still waiting to learn, my mission continues. Because that is the pledge I gave. Kung unsay akong learning, akong ipahibaw sa mga tao. Because change does not start with millions. It starts with those few who choose to listen and understand. Wala naman siguro ko yung masturya. But before I end today, let me go back to where I began. To those I may have hurt, please know that I am deeply sorry. I did not mean to insult. I only meant to explain. And sometimes when words are sharp, they cut deeper than intended. So I ask with all humility that you find it in your heart to forgive. Kanang mga gipangkuan nga bayad ko, kanang gipalit daw ko, it is not true. Kay balo mo nganong nidagan ko pagka-congressman, kay gikontrahan ko ni Martin Romualdez. Ang nisaka sa akong kamot, sa akong kandidatura, si Tatay Digong o si Sara Duterte. Ang pamilya Duterte gi-welcome ko pag-ayo sa Davao. Ako usa ka tawo nga mutan-aw og utang buot. Gidala ko sa balay og studio ni Mayor Baste. Ingon ana ko kapinangga ngadto niya. I will never betray that family. Di man ko DDS, di po ko pingklawan. For the many years I have been in government, di man mi pwedeng magpartido. So wa ko'y partido. I work as an independent person, being treasurer. Because as treasurer, you cannot play politics. It's not allowed. It's prohibited. It's illegal. And that is why, katong nakadawat ko sa suwat nga, mapahwaon ko sa Mandaue ni Martin Romualdez, ang akong nahibungan nga numan, kamaayo na kong performance sa Mandaue. I made Mandaue the only city outside Metro Manila to be part of the top 5 richest cities. And then, anong papahawaan man ko? Forgive the tone. Forgive my tone. Forgive the phrasing. Forgive the imperfections of a person who speaks not from malice, but from passion. Sa kadaghan na akong gipagawas nga POV, over siguro 99% was leaning to Duterte. But that POV, I admit, it might be off. Because that was the decision. It's off. And I would have wanted to educate you so that we can change the strategy already. Kagibalibara na tag-interim release, naata sa appeals court ron. And I hope nga naa sa appeals court atong tarungon ni, kay para in town matagaan siya og temporary liberty. Kay hinaot untang makapamasko din his Tatay Digong's Pilipinas. Because just like you, I only want truth. I only want justice. And today, I stand here not to divide, but to reflect. Let's not divide ourselves. Pareho taog tumong hustisya. I hope that we can unite our knowledge and we can learn together. Para ni kay Tatay Digong, para sa Duterte family. And for every Filipino who still believes that justice, though slow, always finds its way home. Because in the end, ang balaod bisan usahay abusahan mubalik gyud aron ipagtanggol ang giapi. Akong balikon. Ang balaod bisan usahay abusahan aning administrasyon kung giunsa ni nila pagdakop o pagkidnap si Duterte, mubalik gyud na aron ipagtanggol ang giapi. And that is my belief, that's my justice, that's my truth. One step back, two steps forward. I always think that way. Murag ka sinulog ba? Murag ka sayag sinulog. One step back, two steps forward. Because that is how we rise. Not with anger, but with wisdom. Not with vengeance, but with vision. And that's how justice, real and relentless, that is how justice, real and relentless, will set us free. Daghang salamat sa inyong oras. Ay, wala na ko'y masturya. Okay ra gyud. Magkita-kita ra punta. But I will continue my advocacy. And if you do not like my advocacy, ayaw na lamog tanaw. Okay ra man. Naramang gihapoy uban nga kailangan ana nga maka-learn sila sa balaod. Dikang salamat, maayong hapon sa tanan. Another day, another regal POV.